I believe the number one thing that holds most people back from the relationships they want, the jobs they want, the opportunities they want, the finances they need is a low level of self-awareness. And if you're not where you want to be, in this video, you're going to want to stick around so I can help you break free. So here's the problem. Like you, I was reading the books, I was listening to the gurus, and I still wasn't getting traction. It was like everything that I was learning, I really wasn't sure how to actually apply it. And therein lies the problem. And that's when I got lucky. A good friend of mine suggested that I take a hiatus. He said, look, your business is going okay. I know your relationships are a mess, but I'm inviting you to take a hiatus and actually take a sabbatical, if you will, to go on your own journey, so to speak. So I looked at my bucket list and I decided to go to Ireland. I actually landed in Dublin, Ireland, had a quick nap, and then began to walk a street that's known as Grafton Street, which is a main hub. And there I learned something very instrumental and pivotal for me. While walking Grafton Street, I stumbled on a band doing what's known as busking, which is a band just kind of performing outside. The name of the band was Key West. And I'll never forget this for as long as I live because it taught me one of the very first lessons that you need to understand in this particular video. And here's the first lesson. While I was listening to them, I heard this interesting set of song lyrics, and here's what it said. How do you think you know me when I don't even know myself? So here's the first principle. If you don't know yourself, no one else will either, which is why you've got to spend the time. You've got to spend the time understanding self-awareness matters. Yes, it's not super sexy. It's not super fantabulous, so to speak, but it does help us answer 4 major needs in our life, which is the need to be seen, the need to be valued, the need to be heard, and the need to be appreciated. In order to do that, you've got to understand what drives you, motivates you, encourages you, inspires you, and yes, even the things that discourage you. Here's the thing, you cannot elevate what you cannot understand. So now's the time to dig in deep and actually begin to understand, okay? The next thing was I had a high school girlfriend's mother that began to pour into me. She even took care of my stitches in my hand right here, right? She bought me clothes, she fed me, she mentored me. And one of the things that she told me is something I need to share with you today, which is always choose to respond and never react. When you are stuck in a low level of life and you're not getting where you want to be, you're not who you want to be or with the person you want to be, then inevitably what happens is your belief takes a massive decline, right? If that's happening, there's a great chance of what's going on is you're letting your life happen to you rather than you choosing how to make your own life. So if you're not where you want to be, there's a great chance that you yourself are doing what I was doing, which was you were reacting to life rather than responding to life. It's kind of like being in the ring with a professional boxer. When life hits you, you get staggered. It's because you're having to react. However, if you use the same boxer example, the training is where life changes. The training is where you build confidence. The training is where you build a future. So choose to respond. Think about the things that you want in your life. Think about the areas in which you want to go and use that as a way to plan movements forward, allowing you to make choices that allow you to respond to situations rather than react to them. And that way, when life hits you, you won't be knocked off your feet. Now, I believe that self-awareness is so vital to your success, so vital to your actual breakthrough. I went ahead and took the time to create a free resource called Understanding What Drives You. Now, you can find the link in the description below. Now, the third thing that you have to do to get what you want out of life is understand this one thing. Mentors have a greater perspective than your memories. Far too long, I spent using my memories or my past to dictate my future. And that's when the mentors came back into my life and began to say, stop looking at things with the wrong perspective. Gain a greater perspective. How you see things from your past or your past outlook, what happened to you yesterday, has no representation whatsoever on what you can do today or what you can do tomorrow. So always remember that mentors have a greater perspective than your memories, which means you have to have selective mentors. One of the ways that I look at my mentorship areas is I like to think of a boardroom. As an entrepreneur, I typically am surrounded by fantastic people who are much smarter in specific areas than I am. So who's going to be on the boardroom of your mind, right? You're the CEO, but who's the CFO? Who's the COO? Who's the creative designer, okay? Who can help you mentor you in your finances? Who can mentor you in your relationships? Who can mentor you in your overall personal development? Who can mentor you in your lifelong legacy or your impact that you're going to make? Consider letting mentors help shape your perspective for your future. And stop relying on your memories or your past struggles to dictate what is possible. Because what is possible is only what you pursue. So you've got to pursue what is possible. If you'll do those three things, you will begin to win and win big. Make sure you take self-awareness seriously. Why? Because it's the most important thing that you can do to understand yourself at such a level that you can elevate what's great and backfill what's not. I'll see you in the next video.
I hope you enjoyed that video. Seriously, we put a lot of time and energy into making each one of these just for you. For the meantime, do me a favor, let me know which principle you actually like best to make sure we understand how to create the content that you need most. All right? Also, do me one more favor, which is go download your free ebook right here in the comments below called Understanding What Drives You. That way we can help you win.